Welcome back to Real America here on One America News. Well, Florida Republican congressional candidate Paulina and her campaign have filed a formal complaint with the Federal Election Commission against Twitter just this week. In September, Luna threatened to sue Twitter when they refused to verify her Twitter account, yet have verified her Democrat opponent's account. Luna said that even after winning the Republican primary, she has yet to be verified, and they've even censored some of her tweets for apparently violating their terms. You know, that little blue check that would verify her account would give her campaign more engagement and also help to raise money, right? Luna and her campaign argued that Twitter has officially violated the Federal Communications Commission's equal time rule for verifying her opponent and not her. Joining me now to talk more about this, because this is a huge, huge problem with people censoring conservatives out there, whether they're running for Congress or they're a regular farmer from Iowa. It's happening, folks. And so Anna joins me now more to discuss this. Anna, how are you? Nice to see you again here on the show.
Good. Thank you for having me back.
I wish I was having you back on nicer terms, like, hey, the campaign's going great and you're raising tons of money and you're going to win. The polls are showing all that, which I'm sure that's happening too. But
which it is happening, but
great. I love to hear that. The polls are in your favor and Charlie Crist is going down in Florida and Anna's going to be a winner. But let's talk about what's happening with Twitter, because after yesterday's debacle of them blocking that New York Post article, you're not the first person that's reached out to me and said, we're being suppressed, we're being blocked. This is happening, and it seems to be stepping up these last few weeks right before the election. Explain to folks out there, I gave a little preview of what's happening to you in Florida with Twitter and other platforms.
Absolutely. So ironically enough, we actually filed yesterday with the FEC, which is a huge deal because you have to have a case. And we know for a fact that our case will, because the FEC is not meeting right now, it will be going to federal court. And with what our attorneys are saying is it will be heard in the Supreme Court. So what we have Twitter on is illegal support of a federal candidate via unreported in-kind contribution. So for those that might not know what that is, that means that they gave Charlie Crist, my opponent, the unfair advantage through one, engagement on social media, and two, the fact that when the guidelines came out for media at the time, really the only avenues of communication were television, newsprint, and radio. And so the fact is that our entire nation has evolved into this digital media space where there's nothing written in place to protect candidates from these advantages that are given to other opponents. So ours is different. Ours is really hitting them on the financial aspect that they are making illegal contributions. Now, I will say on the censorship aspect, yes, we have been censored. In fact, so much so that they've kicked us out. They did something similar to what they did to Kayleigh McEnany. When I posted something that they did not agree with, they locked me out of my account, forced me to remove the tweet, and then said that my account was a danger to the community. So ultimately what we are seeing is the absolute interfering with the election process. And part of the reason why I filed is because I do believe the American people deserve access to fair elections. And this will be heard in the Supreme Court.
I hope so. And, you know, it sounds like, from what I'm hearing from you and others, that the FEC needs to update these rules, like you just said, because they have not updated them since social media has blown up and become so much a part of our life. Like you said, the rules have been set in place for print, for commercial television, for the old ways of advertising, which everyone's still using, but let's be real, social media is where it's at right now. And I mean, we've got some crazy laws out there in states that are so outdated from the 1800s that need to be updated. So it would make sense that the FEC rather, has not updated the rules on engagement online and how they can handle congressional, senatorial, presidential candidates and how they advertise. So just discussed what's happening to you. Any word from your camp? Have you reached out to RNC folks, talking with people in D.C., in power, in the Senate, in the House, that are going to take immediate action? Because I just got a letter from a Missouri Senator, Josh Hawley, who's taking action and sent a letter directly to the FEC, I believe yesterday, talking about the New York Post article. So it's starting, it's going. Where's it going with yours?
You know, unfortunately, I think that this had to happen with the New York Post in order for everyone to realize, oh my gosh, this is literally something that we're seeing out of George Orwell's 1984. But really, I mean, I've been getting a lot of support. I know Ken Buck's chief of staff reached out. Obviously, I have open dialogue consistently with Congressman Matt Gaetz. And ultimately, I mean, the campaign knows about it. The president knows about it. So it's really going to take people who have been elected to really fight for the American people, right? People in the House and in the Senate to take that initial action, because it can't just be the president. And we're seeing right now that the president is completely being denied even fair access to media. Look at how much Facebook and Twitter now are working with local media to suppress information about Hunter Biden. So this is important. This is about the sanctity of the election process. And if we don't really pull, our heads out of, where, we are going to be in big trouble for elections to come. So I'm hoping that this will really help influence national politics for future generations, and that this will again be heard in the Supreme Court, of which we think it will.
And Anna, just so you know, for next time, this is real America. If you want to tell people that we all need to pull our head out of our asses, that's okay on my show, because that's how real people speak. It happens. Let's be real. Our presidents from all the way back, I don't care how far you go back, some of them sounded like a drunken sailor. They just act all professional when they're in front of the camera, so they lie to Americans. But you know what? The ones that are real and speak how they speak to regular Americans, those are the folks I trust a little bit better. So by all means. Real quick, they're wrapping me up. You kind of got there, and I'm so glad you did. I asked my last guest and all the guests that we're going to be talking about this show, because this is my theme. We've got to get patriots out there. Get online, post, retweet, tag friends, tag enemies, tag whatever you want to tag. And if they block you, if they suppress you, then guess what? Start a new account. Keep it going, right?
Yeah.
We just have to get out there and get the word out.
This is information war, and it really is coming down to, are we going to elect someone that's controlling everything, or are we going to really fight for someone who's fighting for the American people, and that would be Donald Trump.
Thank you so much. It is an information war, and we have to win this battle. And you know a lot about it. You served. Anna, Paulina, Luna, so glad to hear that your campaign is going great down in Florida and that you're ahead in the polls. It's time for Charlie Crist to go. Thanks for coming on, talking about your case, and being an example for everyone out there on what to do if you are stifled, blocked, if you're suppressed on social media. Get out there and keep the information going about the conservative movement. Anna, I'm sure we'll talk to you again before the election. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, bye-bye.